Okay, I'm fired. Yeah, deservedly so. Before we get really stuck into everything, I want to revisit the whole Gary Neville nonsense, because he's going on social media now, and like when people are calling him out on his stupid comment about Spurs, he's telling people that we're very sensitive and we're all overreacting a bit. No, Gary, no, we're just sick of you talking shit. That's really what's happening, bud. It's got nothing to do with Liverpool fans being overly sensitive. It's just to do with you being deluded more than anything, Gary. In all fairness, mate, you know, it's a stupid statement that he knew when he said it was going to provoke a reaction. And I have nothing but respect for Spurs, and I like the way Ange Postecoglou was his team playing, but you don't need to take my word for it. The bookies' word for it is a little bit different. So shall we have a look and see what the bookies think about, well, the race for the title? So going off what Gary Neville has said, Spurs being able to potentially finish above Liverpool and Arsenal, you would expect to see that reflected in the bookies' odds for the Premier League title winners, right? They have Manchester City as huge favourites to win the Premier League, 3-5 on, according to the bookies. Liverpool are the next best place to win it at 3-1, and then Arsenal coming in third place at 8-1. So common sense would dictate that if Spurs were going to finish above Liverpool or Arsenal, it would be reflected in the odds for them to win the Premier League. Liverpool are 3-1, remember, and Arsenal are 8-1. Do you know what Spurs are to win the Premier League? 33-1. Even the bookies are having none of Gary Neville's nonsense. The odds reflect it. It's a long shot for a reason. And there's a reason that Liverpool and Arsenal are the ones being spoken about as potential title challengers, because they're the most likely to do it, because they've got the better squads. Liverpool have the muscle memory of what it takes to go head to head with Manchester City, and Arsenal have been building slowly over the past couple of seasons with Arteta, adding some really good players into their squad. Still have to, in my opinion, make that final step to show that they can really last the pace for the entire season. He just talks so much rubbish, and when he's not talking rubbish, he feels like he has the right to talk for everybody else about football and how it's governed and what's going wrong at Manchester United and what Manchester United should be doing on this and blah 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 blah. Stop it, Gary. Just stop it, mate. Concentrate on Salford, who by all accounts aren't having a very good season. So I'd have a look at that before talking about, you know, Spurs maybe finishing ahead of Arsenal and Liverpool. Oh, by the way, United weren't even mentioned in this, just to keep them in context. They weren't even mentioned with the prices there of who could win the league. He's trying to suggest we will blow up. Well, the thing is, Mark, right? The thing is, buddy, we've had a pretty tough start to the campaign ourselves with regards to the away fixtures we've played. You know, we've already been to St James's. We've been to the Etihad. We've been to Spurs Gaff. We're about to go to Arsenal in a couple of weeks' time. And we've had Brighton away. And we've also had a load of injuries. He's talking about James Maddison coming back, Son coming back, and forgetting that Liverpool currently have Andy Robertson out, Joel Matip out, Kostas Tsimikas out, Trent Alexander-Arnold out. Alexander-Arnold, okay, maybe not valid in this conversation because he's only missed a couple of weeks. Dominic Szoboszlai's been out. It's not like we haven't had our fair share or more of injuries this season. So, if anything, I think we're going to get stronger in the second half of the season. Historically, we do. We have a much better second half. So, I know everybody's fearful of Manchester City and Kevin De Bruyne coming back, and I get it. That's understandable. But it's also important to point out that we have Thiago out. We have Bajcetic out. Added to the other names that I've mentioned. We're going to be stronger, and we're going to have a bigger squad to rotate in the second half of the season. Now, on Twitter, Gary Neville tried to make out like it was because Spurs don't have any other competitions to be in. Well, duh, Gary. And there's a reason for that, bud. Because they're not very good. So, there you go. An even more ludicrous comment came from Jamie Redknapp. And again, nothing against Jamie Redknapp, but Jamie Redknapp seems to believe that Spurs should forget about Champions League football and focus on winning the FA Cup. Huh? I get it, Spurs need a trophy, but you try having that conversation with Daniel Levy and see how you get on. Hey Daniel, yeah, just a little word here. It's Ange here, buddy, just in case you didn't realise from the very thick Australian accent. It's Ange here. Just wondering, Daniel, how, I know you've got the stadium, bud. I know it's a lot of money to pay back, but I was thinking, me and Redknapp had a pow-pow, and we thought, how about we don't try to get into the top 4, and we go all out for the FA Cup? Stop shouting, Daniel. Okay, mate, calm down. Okay, I'm fired. Yeah, deservedly so. Pundits, professional pundits, ladies and gentlemen, paid a lot of money to give these little nuggets of insight that us mere mortals couldn't really come up with.